My name is James, and I've been riding bikes since I was a kid. Whether I'm on a trail or on the road, by myself or with some friends, there's something about being out there on the saddle, just looking around at the world that makes me feel free. Today I'm heading out to a local bike shop to give new riders an idea of what cycling is about, on this episode of Why I Ride.
Ride BMX bikes when I was a kid for years, and then I was living in Texas and had a friend that mountain biked and finally went with him one day, and I was hooked after that.
Was overweight, getting ready to do some pretty heavy backpacking, and my dad rode bikes, so I figured, you know what, I'll give it a shot. So I bought a bike, hopped on it, and absolutely destroyed myself trying to ride 8 miles the first time. And kind of at first it took a while for me to embrace cycling, probably a year before I actually got hooked and really started to love the sport of cycling. At that point, it was game on. You know, it was how much can I ride, how many miles, how big is the hill, how far, how long, and ended up with a bike shop.
Well, since I was a kid, I rode bikes, but never really cycling per se. Last year, I have a very sedentary work, and I gained a lot of weight, and I was looking for something to do. And cycling was, kind of appealing.
I got into cycling when I was a kid. My dad and I would enter in some of the local Riverside century rides. I would only ride the 25-mile ones, but it's always something that's been with me. And then as I got older and got into music, I stopped riding my bike. And then about 6 years ago, I was weighing over 300 pounds and went and saw the doctor, who said that I needed to get back into shape. So I started hiking first, and once that had kind of gotten old, I decided to get back on my bike. And I've been riding now for almost 2 years, seriously.
My husband started riding bikes. He did it for a training purpose. He wanted to hike Half Dome with the Boy Scouts, and he did it to lose weight. And in the process, he started doing what's called a century ride, which is riding 100 miles, and they're organized rides. They have SAG support. And when I would watch his rides, there were hundreds of people doing this, and I wanted to do what they were doing. So I got a bike.
Don't do an 8-hour race. Yeah.
Well, first, getting into riding, you need to know where you're gonna ride.
Well, one of the things that you have to decide is kind of what kind of riding you want to do. You want to just go do mountain biking or road biking. And the second piece of advice is get a bike that fits you. Get fitted to the bike, because it's important for your joints and everything. If you're comfortable on the bike, it's more likely you're gonna keep doing it. If you're uncomfortable on the bike, you're gonna do it once or twice and you're gonna quit. So,
Where are you gonna ride, who are you gonna ride with, and ultimately, what's your long-term goal? Establishing those will help you pick what type of bike. Then it's a matter of getting the bike, and it's a matter of getting on the bike.
Honestly, the biggest thing I would say is being very careful on the road, because it's pretty dangerous as far as cars and people not watching out for you. So you have to be really aware of what's going on around you, for sure.
Just get moving. I just started living a totally sedentary life and not caring about what I ate, and just getting up and moving every day really made a difference. Then once I started seeing that affect the weight loss, then I thought, hey, you know what? If I don't eat a Del Taco 5 times a week, it might be even better.
So after you've selected a bike, and you have comfortable gear, and you have a bit of time, you have your helmet, you have your water, I would say take your bike out and go around the block. And if that felt good and you have more time, do it again. Maybe either go for distance or time, but I would say for somebody that's struggling to get into riding, to become fitter, you have to have a purpose. Without purpose, it's hard to be motivated, and without motivation, it's hard to have a commitment.
Find the group that you fit with. Find the people that you relate to. If you don't know anybody that does it, find a group that will take you in and ride with you. And whether it's mountain bike or road bike, no matter what community you live in, there's people out there that want you to ride. They want anybody to ride with them. You know what I mean? Cyclists are like pack animals. They work together really well, you know, and they love to have the company. You know, I like going on long solo rides by myself, but I also like to do the group rides and hanging out with the friends and having a beer and pizza after the ride and doing all those cool things. It's cycling for us and for the people that we relate to. It's kind of our social time. You know what I mean? It's how we hang out. It's our Elks Lodge. It's our soccer club. It's what we do to kind of be communal within ourselves, you know. So if you're just starting out, find somebody that will help you and that will kind of guide you along, because there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of mistakes to make. And if you know somebody that will work with you, they can kind of help you through some of that and hopefully minimize some of the mistakes and teach you how to be a better rider.
I ride road bikes mainly because it gets you stronger. You can build a lot more strength on a road bike. So I was having a hard time keeping up with the guys that I mountain biked with, and that's what they told me. Get a road bike, it'll make you faster. So, but I definitely have come to the point where I have fun doing both, so.
I prefer road bikes. I'm not very technical in the dirt. I don't mind taking my road bike in the dirt. I don't mind riding fire roads, but I like being on my bike. I like challenging myself. I like going distance. I can spend hours and hours out on the road, and it's just an enjoyable way to spend your day.
Well, because a decent mountain bike is another $1,000, and if I buy one of those, my wife's going to kill me. And well, basically, I got into racing, so that first bike didn't really cut anymore, so I bought a new one. This is my new bike. So the wife is still, you know, getting adapted to the second one.
I ride, I do both road bike and mountain biking. As far as brands go, I'm currently riding a BMC Gran Fondo road bike. The mountain biking reminds me of going back to my hiking days, and I really enjoy doing cross-country mountain biking, where it's more up in Big Bear. You just get on a trail and just start riding, and wherever it takes you, beautiful views, do all that. I'm not so much the crazy downhill, going off the jumps and doing that kind of stuff. But the road bike is also very easy because I can just walk out the front door of my house and I'm going and riding.
Mostly road. I race mountain bikes though. So it's kind of where I ride road bike mostly, but I race mountain bike mostly. Cross-country mountain bike, so endurance.
Definitely a quality bicycle. I think that's probably the biggest mistake people make, is that they start to look into the world of cycling and bicycles and they realize that they're not cheap. But you can go to a department store and get a cheap bike, and the problem is they're not going to last very long. And I think people make the mistake of buying something like that, and then if they're really trying to get into cycling, those bikes just don't hold up and they don't perform as well, and so you can actually ruin your first cycling experiences by having something that's not going to work well for you. So that's definitely something I try to tell people. It's worth it to spend more money to get something that's going to, perform like you need it to. Keep cycling, it'll keep you young.
Well, there we go. I met some great people and heard some great stories. Tune in next time for another episode of Why I Ride.